Shalom everyone. Today we'll be discussing Parshat Toldot. So we've shifted, and now our focus is Yitzchak. Yitzchak has two children, we know, Esav and Yaakov, twin brothers, but it doesn't go so easy. Yitzchak and Rivka are married, and year follows year, and they don't have children. They do not merit to have children. So Rivka's praying in one corner of the room, and Yitzchak's praying in the other corner of the room. And ultimately, Yitzchak's prayers are answered and Rivka gets pregnant, but her stomach is much bigger than expected and much more painful than expected. So she asks Hashem, what's going on? She goes to the giants of that generation, Shem, Aver, the different teachers, the sages that are still around, and they tell her, God says, you have two nations that are going to come out of you. Two completely different nations, and ultimately the one is going to be mighty and powerful, but the other one is going to be awesome and spiritual. And when she gives birth, so the first one that comes out is red, and not only red, but covered with hair like goat's hair, tough hair. He's got this deformity, and everyone looks at him and they say, Esav, that's like hairy creature. And when he comes out, his twin brother's holding on to his heel, and so he is named Yaakov, which means he will ultimately overcome. But the word Yaakov also means will act in deceit. The word okba means deceit. So until they're 15 years old, Esav always looks like the more pious one. Although Esav refuses to be circumcised, when he's first born, his father can't tell. Being so red, maybe circumcising him would cause him to bleed incessantly, so he doesn't circumcise him. And when Esav is old enough, so Yitzchak says, why don't you do your circumcision at age 13 like Yishmael? And Esav says, hands off, don't touch me. So Esav ends up continuing his life without a circumcision, but in all other ways, Esav seems to be much more pious than Yaakov, because Esav is always busy showing people how pious he is. Whereas Yaakov was wholesome, he was tam. Yaakov tried to get things right. And the one who can really see how pious Yaakov is Rivka. And so she has a special affinity for Yaakov. But Yitzchak sees the strengths of Esav, and he wants to see how he could develop that into what's right. So when Esav and Yitzchak are 15 years old, so Esav has his first murderous day. He commits his first murder. He kills Nimrod. That is the day that Avram passes from the world, because Hashem had promised Avram that he would pass from this world in peace, in serenity. So Hashem makes sure that Avram passes from the world before Esav really becomes the murderer, the idol worshiper, the rapist that Esav is going to be the rest of his life. On that same day, Avram and Nimrod were the nemesis of one another. Nimrod tried killing Avram from the day he was born. And ultimately, it's Avram's grandson, Esav, that murders him. And Esav runs into the Yaakov's tent, and he's huffing and puffing, and he's on the run because Nimrod's men are looking for him. He just killed their king. And Yaakov is busy making lentils for his father, Yitzchak, who's just started mourning. And Esav says, give me some of that red stuff. And Yaakov says, well, what will you give me an extent? Esav's hands are dripping with blood, and Esav says, listen here, man, I'm the continuation of the family. I'm the firstborn, right? Well, you can have it. I get no honor in my circles from being a descendant of Avram. And anyways, look at him with those piety. He died today just like Nimrod did. You can have it. And Esav says, I'm going to tilt my head back and gulp, and you just pour that hot lentil soup down my throat. And when he's finished, he gets up and he leaves, and he laughs at Yaakov. He tells everyone, look at what a fool. I got the better deal out of this. I got a good soup, and what did he get? Nothing. So Esav mocks the fact that he gave up the rights to being the continuation of the family, the firstborn. And Yaakov values it. He says, the family of Avram and Yitzchak, I can be the continuation of that. And when Yitzchak reaches the age that he's coming within 5 years of his father's passing, so he calls on Esav and he says, do me a favor, son. Bring me a good meal so that I will feel uplifted and I can bless you, because it's my birthday today. It's Pesach, and it's time to give the blessings, the continuation of the family over. Rivka hears this, and she says, well, Yitzchak doesn't realize what type of person Esav is. Esav has married these vile women who offer incense to their idols and caused Yitzchak to turn blind. They speak so disrespectfully to Yitzchak and Rivka. Rivka's life is really very, very painful because of everything Esav does. So Rivka tells Yaakov, listen, your father's about to make the mistake of a lifetime, and God has told me that you, Yaakov, are supposed to get those blessings. I have a prophetic vision from before you were born that you're supposed to get that. And so Yaakov listens to his mother, and he comes in, and his father doesn't recognize him. He's lost his eyesight. Yaakov has put on goat's hairs on himself to make him feel like Esav. And Yaakov gets the blessing to be the continuation of Yitzchak. And when Esav hears this, he wants to kill Yaakov. And so Yaakov's going to have to run. And our Parsha concludes with Yaakov on the run because his brother Esav wants to kill him because he took the blessings of Yitzchak. And next week we will learn about how Yaakov, even under this duress, will continue to grow and bring about the Jewish people in Parshat Vayetze. See you there. Shabbat Shalom.